everyone, it's Jean. I am back with just a small project for you this evening. I needed to make some tags for my Spanish journal because we are nearing October 15th and I want to get that wrapped up and finished for you. And I was watching a video from Shabbydabbydooda, and she had saved some papers, like the wrapping papers that sometimes come in your purse, or if you go to Pottery Barn or something like that, they'll wrap whatever you have in glass in some, it's like brown paper bag material. It's a little bit thicker than a paper bag. But I didn't have any of that, but what I did have was some paper bag material. So I took the paper bag and I cut it down into different strips and made them into, I just wanted to make them into different sizes so that I could have different types of tags. One of the things that I've done in the past with my tags is I don't always keep them the same size, meaning a standard tag for you is like a luggage tag. I don't have any here, I don't think, to show you. Maybe I do. So it would be like this, a regular luggage tag. And I love that design, of course, but I've also toyed with another design of tags that kind of adds a little bit of whimsy and interest to your projects. And if I can locate them now, my niece was showing me this funny meme about a person trying to do a video and she could never find any of her supplies, and we laughed because that's exactly how I am. Okay, I think they're in here. So what I do with my tags sometimes, just to add a little interest, is I cut them on an angle or make them have odd shapes, because I don't think everything has to be just symmetrical up and down. So here are some examples of some tags that I have made. This one's really cool. It's kind of fat and curvy. And then I have some that I have already designed on, and I just use stickers for these, so they're not anything super special. And then I drew on the ivy. Looks like these might have gotten a little bit wet with water from my painting, but I just wanted to give you that option that if you are making a tag for your journal, you don't have to necessarily keep it the standard tag shape. Now, these do have the sides cut off here, so that, you know, it still resembles a tag, but it's not uniform up and down square like a normal tag would be. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this particular tag project, but this is a spin-off of what I don't remember what her first name is, but this is a spin-off of what Shabbydabbydooda did. That sounds cute. And she made some tags with her wrapping paper. So I'm just going to follow her basic method, which is she put down the papers just in various places. And I chose this paper because, number one, it's plain on the back, so we have our, we don't have to cover it if we don't want to. It's also thicker, so we don't have to worry about our tags being too flimsy. And then additionally, I thought this kind of mandolin style goes with my Spanish junk journal. So let me go ahead and finish up gluing these down. And you can see that I've made them so that they're torn in different shapes. And when she did hers, not only did she does a lot of mask making, so not only did she cut hers out, then she decorated them. I am probably not going to decorate very much because I am missing the adapter for my printer, and what I wanted to use to decorate these with needs to be printed out. So, but I didn't want to keep the project from you because I think what she did was a really great idea. I just have a different, a little bit different take on it than what she did. So if you don't have the wrapping paper, or, you know, the brown paper, you can certainly use a paper bag if you like. I really like the paper bag feel and color, so you could use that. We could even take some of these if we wanted to and kind of crumple them up so that they have a unique texture to them. Not all of us like that crinkly sound, but I do. I think that's fun. And this is just a piece of paper out of a 12 by 12 paper pack that I have. And as I mentioned, I chose a little bit thicker piece so that we could get, let me see here, what else I can fit on. I kind of want to put this long one on, so let me glue this. So I have been with family for a little bit. My brother and my niece came to visit, and she was here with her boyfriend, who is a very nice young man, and my niece is just one of the sweetest people. So I'm very excited to know that she found such a nice guy. So that made me happy to see her and to be able to spend some time with her, and of course my brother, and meet her boyfriend. But they live in Florida, so when my brother retired, he moved there, and you know, a 17-hour drive is a pretty long drive to go to visit, but we may, depending on how my knees react, go for the wedding if I can talk my husband into it. He says he doesn't like Florida, but I don't know why. I don't think he's ever been there. Maybe he has, and I can't remember. Okay, so I'm going, now on the video that I watched, she just used her scissors. I don't cut even enough with scissors, and my scissors need sharpened or something. So this is a beautiful piece we're going to keep, because we're not going to throw out any of those really nice offcuts. And then I'm wondering if I don't want to fold that in half. I want to kind of fold it this way, and then I want to fold it this way, so that I can get a couple different sizes. And I probably should have put these papers a little bit closer and I would have gotten more bang for my buck, but that's okay. I just wanted to have some kind of guide here as to where to cut these. Let me go up a little bit more. And then I'm just going to cut this strip for now. And then I will cut this other strip. And I'm going to leave some, I'm going to cut these, and I'll explain why in a moment. Why? Part of it is because these are going to be really, really big tags if I don't trim them down somewhat. But it'll be okay because the the artist in me will keep any of the offcuts and they'll go to good use. So I think that's what most of us try to do. So I have some offcuts we can use, and I want to mention to you one of the reasons why I save my offcuts is a lot of times I need a little tab for the side of my journal page, or you want to make a pocket and you want it to be a different color than what you may have had before. So let me just take this tag, and I want to see how long it is. And I'm going to mark this right here. And then let me see how this one is. And then I'll mark it. Actually, I'm going to mark it right here so that I can cut in between those. And another thing you can do with your offcuts when you're making tags is you can actually use them on the tag itself. If it's double-sided paper, you can definitely use, you know, the other side of the offcut, or you can just leave it like it is and use it for like a tag topper. So for example, here, if I wanted a tag topper with this particular piece, I could just stick it on like this and either staple it or glue it, and that is the pull tag for it. So there are two, and this one I'm still going to trim down a tiny bit. There we go. Okay, so I have two here, and then this tag I'm going to make a little bit longer because I love the way the squiggly paper is on top of that. So there's two tags, and then let me see here, cut this off, and then I'm going to cut this right here. And then I have two. These are even larger that we could use for like journaling cards if we don't want to use them as a tag. So here we have our tags. And I'm actually going to, I don't know if I have any more of this mandala paper. Let me see. I might have a green sheet. And if I do, I'll do the same thing on the green sheet. Yeah, this one's really pretty. So let me see if I can tear this out without ripping it. It's perforated, but it still is a challenge. Okay, so let me use the green. And I'm just going to put these aside for a second. And this green is almost, excuse me while I pick something up, maybe. This green is the same as the red and gold one. It just doesn't have any metallic on it. So let me go ahead and put these on, and if I have to cut any more paper bags, I'll show you how I do that. This one I'm going to try to put closer to the edge so I can use more of my paper. Now this technique that I'm using today is going to be based on layering and also kind of a mixed media style. So we know what mixed media is, right? It's when we use different types of mediums in our artwork. And being a junk journaler, I think a lot of us have mixed media talents because, where did my paper bags go? Because we often find unique ways to layer different mediums on top of each other. So a paper bag, yes, it's paper, but I would consider it a different type of medium because it's made out of with a different process. And these little lunch bags are just so easy to use, and you can get them at, I'm sure, any store, but I get mine at the Dollar Tree because then they're only $1 for a whole big pack of lunch bags. And I don't need any type of fancy ones that have to be you know, thicker or sturdier for real lunches. I just want them for crafting. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking this apart at the seam, if it'll cooperate with me, which we don't really care how it comes out because we're going to be cutting these down or, you know, hand tearing them. And I'm just going to tear a few. And when I do that, I do tear the top because I want it to be more organic. I don't want to have the straight edge or even the serrated edge that it has at the top. So I'm going to tear this where that fold was because it was wanting to fold up, and then tear the bottom a little bit. Okay, and let me see, will this one fit on? Yes, okay. So let me do another one and just tear this down. Now, one thing you can do with this too, if you want to, and I'm not taking the time to do it, but you can certainly take some time to ink around the edges of these. And they would look really cute inked around the edges as well. So let me see. Oh, that one's already glued down. Okay, so this will have to be moved over a little bit. And then I'm going to use another piece, but I want it to be wider and fatter. Not to be so jagged. And we'll put that right there. And I'm just smoothing out that wrinkle. And then we'll do this last space up here. Okay, that should fit right there. So it makes it fun when you're doing your art projects, especially junk journals. You know, we do a lot of things with envelopes and different shapes of things. And I just think that when you add layers of things together, it really helps, you know, and the fact that not everything is the same size also makes it nice for gluing. I'm sorry, for interest in your journal. I'm thinking glue, talking journal. Sorry. So my other glue is already out. I can't believe it. I don't know why I go through so much glue. I mean, I glue a lot of stuff, but honestly. So this glue that I'm using here is just plain PVA, or what we call here Elmer's glue. And hopefully the edges will stay down well with it, because that's the main part I want to stick down. So I don't want the edges to lift up. So the key to that is just kind of running your bead along as close to the edge as you can get it. And then whenever you squish it down, it should spread out enough that it'll go out to the edge. So I just separate that a tiny bit, because if not, it will run over. Now, sometimes when you use this type of glue, it will seep through, especially something like paper bag, because the paper bag is thin compared to the amount of glue we're using, and you will get some stickiness on the top. So I should have a wet cloth, which I don't. That's okay. Excuse me. Another thing with wet glue is you may want to let your project, especially if you're cutting into it, sit for a little bit so that the glue dries somewhat. So this one will go right here. And then this one we will put on the edge. And I don't know what happened to my other fat one. I'll find it here. Whoops. I went on to the other paper. I was telling my husband the other day that I think I need to get one of those lights that have a magnifying glass, because I would be able to see what I was doing much better. But we'll see. I don't have money for a magnifying glass light right yet. So, okay, what did I do with that other chunk of paper? Well, we will just tear another one. So I'm going to tear the serrated edge off the top, and then just tear a chunk down like this. And then I'm going to tear a tiny piece off this edge because I don't want it to be straight. There we go. So we're going to put this one on, and then we'll let it dry a tiny bit, and then I'll show you what we can do with our other tags that we've already cut. So I'm going to add this right here, and hopefully we will have enough room to do what we want. Okay, pull this up a tiny bit. It's actually going to be fine the way it's going to be cut. Glue down. So the main thing with this project is make sure all your edges are nice and glued down, because when you cut your tag shapes, you don't want to lose pieces of the brown paper bag, because they're going to be, you know, more fragile, of course, because of the material they're made out of. So let me just lay this one aside. And then we have these few here. So this one will be a tag, and this one, and this one. This one will be a journaling card, and this one will be a journaling card. So let me get my scissors and cut the corners. And you all know how to do this, where you kind of just flip that over and line it up, and then you can cut it right along the edge here, and then your sides should be even. Now, I just recently watched a video, and her name is Anne. She's from Sweden. And she has a lot of very creative ideas, but you have to pay careful attention, because her English is good, but she's quiet. So you kind of have to really tune your ear into what she's saying. But I enjoy watching her, because her journals that she makes and the quality of her products are just so nice. Okay, now this guy, I like him, but I think he needs to be trimmed down a little bit at the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this right here so that it doesn't look so tall. And then we'll cut this one. And then this one. So here we go. We have our 4 tags, and we're just going to, for the journaling spots, I'm going to put this in my hole punch and just punch, if I can punch, and round the corners on these so that we have a nice little journaling spot. Why does that do that? I mean, it should not be that hard to cut an edge, and I still get it all wonky. Fiddle. There we go. And then this one, maybe I just didn't push it in far enough. Now that has a ridge on it because I bent the paper, but that's okay. We'll just leave it like that. And then let me see if I can punch these without any issue. you don't have to do the punching. I just think it makes journaling cards look nice when you have them. And you can even round the corners of the bottom of your tags if you want to as well. I'm not going to do that. But here are our 2 journaling cards. So we can do one of 2 things. We can either just leave this, and this can be our journaling spot, and then the back could be a journaling spot as well. And I think I really like that idea. But what I was going to do, just for the purpose of showing you all how these journaling cards and tags work, is I'm just going to use, for the time being, just a couple little stickers that kind of go with my theme of my journal. So here we just put some little llamas on here. And that really, for my Spanish journal, would probably be all that I would need. But I am going to ink the edges. And as long as I can find my adapter, I can put my other things on here. I'm not really a super big fan of using stickers in my journal, but since the llamas kind of go with Peru and other places, we'll just let that go for today. And then let me just ink this on the other side. And there's something that I just found out recently that I thought was kind of curious. I had always inked my pages and my journaling cards or whatever it was that I was using with the tea stain. And I love the tea stain distress ink, but I really like this walnut stain because I see a lot of people using it, and I always thought that's kind of dark, but I really like it. I don't know why. It makes the edges look a lot more, they stand out a lot more with the walnut stain. And if you do this, like I said, on both sides, then you have a really nice journaling card. So there's 2 of the cards. And then if I can reach without causing an avalanche, my llama stickers. And okay, here are a couple in here. But I also have, I think, some bird stickers. So maybe, oh, he's cute. I like him. So maybe I'll put him on there. But then I have these bird stickers. And birds are definitely something that would be Hispanic related. Of course, birds are everywhere, right? These might not be the kind of birds, though, that I have to see. And I do have nails, but for some reason, I have a hard time with getting the backs of the stickers to come off. Fiddle faddle. Okay. So I'm going to put him down. I'm going to actually put him up a little bit higher. And the reason being is because I like to see this part here. Now, if you wanted to kind of dress this up a little bit, you could take your ruler and your black pen and maybe doodle around the sides, or one of the one of the fun things that I like to do is kind of like a faux stitching. And I just put a dot and a line and a dot and a line, well, I'm off kilter here, but you see what I'm doing. A line and a dot. And what that does is it kind of frames it and makes it look kind of like it's stitched. Just a fun little design. And then we've got another media in here because we've used ink, we've used scrapbook paper, we've used some of the stickers, and we're using the paper bag. So we're getting some interesting elements in here. And that, I think, really completes the design a little bit more and brings it together if you do that little bit of faux stitching on the side. Another thing that I like to do, because in the junk journal or in the mixed media world, and you use a lot of writing on top of your design, you can, you know, just do something fun like this, and it gives a nice feel to your project, I think. So just a little doodling, some stickers. Doesn't have to be anything amazing. The one thing about my journal is that it's very whimsical in itself. So these will look cute in some of the pockets that I have in the journal. Another medium that I do sometimes use, and please forgive me because this is a really yucky gelato, but what they are is they're almost like crayons, okay? And if I wanted to put right here in the corner some of this yellow, what I'm doing then is I'm creating something that sort of looks like a sun on the side. Now, the one thing about gelatos is even after they dry, because they are waxy, they will come off on your fingers. They also react to water. So what I will do with this, I'm not sure, I have one more over here. I don't remember what, oh, it's pink. What I will do with this is I will probably, let me just see here, pull it out a little bit more. I'm just going to make some sun rays coming down here. And then what I can do is I can, once that's dry somewhat, we'll go back. I don't know if it ever dries, actually. It just may stay nice and smooth like this. But I can go back then and cover it with some gel medium, and it will not run. So there's our little sun on the side of this one. And let me see what my pink, and that again is another layer of, for the mixed media. Then for this one, this pink is very light pink, but I'm going to try to draw a heart and color it in. it almost feels like with these gelatos, if you've, I don't know if you've ever used them before, they were quite popular several years ago in mixed media, but gelatos, it almost feels like you're drawing or creating something with lipstick or lip balm. That's the kind of feeling you get with it. So, very fun medium to use. And I have several colors of these because I used to use them a lot. So whenever I get a time to do a video, I will do a video on how to use the gelatos, because I don't think they're super popular right now, and I haven't seen any recent videos, so it would be fun to revisit that. So let me try this pen, and I'm going to just go around the edge. Now see, since these gelatos are waxy, you will pick up the wax on your pen. So try to just go on the outline. And we'll do this one over here. And then this one over here. Very cute. And then my sun, I'm just going to go like this. Let me wipe the tip off. I think it's got yellow in it. Okay, this is what you call a Tombow pen, and this is the brush tip. So I just wanted to use a very light hand because I don't want it to come out super thick. And then on this, okay, pen, make me a fibber. There it goes. I was telling you before in some of my other videos that this is one of the pens that I find works the best for writing over any kind of media. The only thing it does not write over are gelatos, and that's because the gelatos are waxy and they gunk up the tip. But you just clean it off and go. Actually, I'm going to put one right here. One of these guys right here to make up for that. So there you go. There's a couple different ways that we can use different mediums to make some journal cards. So now we have two very cute journal cards for our journal. So there we go. Now, one thing that Shabbydabbydooda was doing with her tags is she was actually cutting them. She wasn't letting any of the base paper show through. And what I think makes them interesting is when you allow the base paper to show through on the design. So what I'm going to do, that's why I cut these this way, because I want to be able to see the mandalas here. And as far as decorating these, let me see. I had, trying to think of what would be the best color. I promise I'm not yawning. Let me just see what these little birdies look like. Little beards. Okay, so they're acetate stickers. I don't know if I want to use those. Let me look over here. I have a bunch of die cuts, and we will see what we have. We have butterfly, another butterfly, so I have to keep in mind that this is going to be for my Hispanic journal. Butterflies definitely go. So let me take the butterflies out. I don't think mushrooms. There's a bird, a beard, a beard, a beard, a beard. Roses are kind of a, definitely. There's another bird. Interestingly, marigolds are very popular in, at least I know for Mexico, because they plant them around their garden, and the smell is supposed to ward off any bugs or rodents or anything from coming and getting in your garden. I love these leaves. I love leaves. I don't know why, but I do. So let me see. That's not exactly what I had in mind, darling. Actually, these are kind of cute. Okay, so let me check out the, and honestly, if you're going to use your tag for something like not just a decorative piece, but also as a way for journaling, I think it's important that the tags themselves don't get super busy, because when they do, then you end up with just this mess of and no place to journal. So I'm going to look in here really quick and see if I have any little labels I can use. That's another thing I made for myself, were some labels, and I couldn't print them because I can't find my adapter. And Kim would say, that's because you should not use a Mac. But I do. I use a Mac. Okay, so here we have, remember we have these little cutoffs, these little, this little extra. Okay, this is where I usually will come in and use up some of these pieces, because I don't want to waste any of the offcuts. Now I am going to ink this because I want it to stand out, and I want you to be able to notice it apart from the paper bag. So let me push some of this over. So we're just working on one here. And the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of put this in on the side there. And what this does is it not only brings the back design forward, but it also adds an element of interest to the front so that you can see a difference there in the paper coloring. And then we need to add a little tag. So let's see how that looks there. And then where were the butterflies? That one's really big. How about this one? And that looks nice. It looks like it's missing its antenna. Its antenna. Let me see. Maybe I don't want a butterfly. Maybe I just want this. I like that. And it's funny how each of us have different styles. And if you are watching someone who's mass making these, it's so cute when they're like, oh, I like this, and then they switch their stuff around, and they like, and you're like, you're talking to the screen and you're saying, no, that doesn't go. Put the other one back. I've done that before. And then this guy, I think, needs a little bit of glue under here because I forgot to glue it. Okay, very simple, not anything too flashy. And we just grouped that little grouping right there in the middle. Okay, so let's take this taller one. And I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to use a very, let me see if I can use this one. I just want to use a very, very skinny piece of the offcut because I don't want, because this part, because we have a lot of this showing. So we're going to make each of the tags pretty much similar. However, we're going to make them, you know, not all the paper's going to be torn the same or same length, so you get some variation there. Actually, I kind of like it down at the bottom. It reminds me of Italy or something. Italy. Okay, I'll put that one right there. Beautiful, beautiful. Now this one, I think I picked out another label. Let me see what this label is. I'll put this label on here. One of the things that I have a hard time finding are labels that are small enough for some of these types of projects, because you don't want to get a big, you don't want to have a big, huge label sticking on there because it just distracts from the design. So I made myself some, and I'll have to get that taken care of so I can show you guys what they look like. Okay, this guy, he's got ink on him, so I can't use him. This one's very pretty. We could put it on kind of like, okay, I like it like this, but is it gonna go over the edge of the page? No. Okay. So if you're wondering where these came from, these are just leftover die cuts, probably from one of Tim Holtz's collections. I don't know which one, because if you haven't gathered by now, I'm not a very organized person. So therefore, a lot of my stuff just gets grouped in a pile like this. And I will put them in different places. So I don't know always where they came from or what pack they're in. Okay, so there are 2, and just for the, oh, wait a minute. I need to cut this one a little bit better across the top. I don't like how tall that is. Now, another thing that's very fun to put on these types of tags is like a word, if you wanted a word. Now, if I have actually in my computer ready to be printed some Spanish words. So what I will probably do as soon as I get that done is I will add the Spanish words to them, and that way that'll have them tie into our little book. And I don't know if I've done anything new, but I'm going to do this last tag just so you guys get the idea, and then I'll show you the journal and we can see what it looks like. Okay, so this one, and I don't know about you, but there's been so many great ideas out there of things to do that I just want to show everybody every single video. And I just haven't had well, I had company, but I haven't had the opportunity to do that. Wondering if I have a little bit smaller label sticking in here, because that one is awful big. I think I looked in here already and there weren't any. Oh, she's a ballerina. That doesn't go at all. I didn't realize she was a ballerina. A ballerina. Okay. Here's just a little, like ticket. And I think that I'm just going to glue this little ticket on here. I mean, not ticket, but like a little baby tag. And I'm just going to glue that on there. And then I'm going to see. So I did a butterfly. And then I did, see, I kind of like that, but it covers up our, those are pretty too. Okay, so we did a butterfly. How about we do this bird because he has, oh yes, how about that bird? I like him. So we'll put this bird on here. And then we have 3 of our paper bag tags. And I'm going to put him right there so that he kind of covers up the hole in the tag. He goes over a tiny bit, but that's okay. I'll love him anyway. So there you go, 3 different tags. And you can decide what kind of toppers you want to put on them. For example, if you want to put seam binding or ribbon, or maybe you don't want to put anything, you can staple on, like I said, a piece of the paper bag and kind of make it the tag. Like a rustic looking tag right here. I know I had my stapler right here. Where did she go? You know what? This is an old, I don't know, Pennsylvania Dutch or what, but, and I don't remember if it was my dad that said it or who, but they would say, "Oh, Swanee," when they couldn't find something. So I'm always saying something that probably indicates that I'm from Pennsylvania, even though I try not to talk like I'm from Pennsylvania. Okay, this is just dumb. Okay, I'm going to use glue and glue that down, fold to fold. And then I'm going to take this and glue it down. So I'm all about using scraps. And this is a great way to use a scrap. Now, you could argue with me that that matches too much. So if it does, we can just cut a strip. And even put this one in the middle, or even this one like this, or even find another image if you don't like the fact that this is brown and this is brown. So that gives you a couple options. And let me show you. Oh, stars. Such is my life, darling. Such is my life. I lose everything. Everything. If it's not attached to me. Donde puse la jornada, y también encontré la grabadora. Ay, Dios mío, ¿dónde lo puse? Ay, Dios mío. Okay. Okay. I was looking for my fiddle faddle, my connection for my computer, and I must have laid my journal down somewhere and don't know where. I mean, do you guys really expect anything better from me? Oh my goodness. I thought maybe I stuck it in where I have all this fabric. I've got like 900. I have this big, huge stack of fabric over here, but I'm not seeing it. Okay, guys, so I'm not going to hold you up so you can look at the journal, because I will have it so that we can see it tomorrow for sure. Where in the world would I have put it? It just makes no sense, because I just had it like before. Okay, no matter. It is here, I promise. I'm just not exactly sure at the moment, because I have this terrible habit of losing things, losing everything all the time. Okay, so I did find my stapler, so let me staple this on, because I think it'll make a contrast to the brown a little bit. So that's, those are the tags, and there's one more that we can do out of that section, and then of course I'm going to cut this one down so I'll have even more, because that was one thing that my journal really needed, were some tags, because I had put pretty much the maximum number of pages that I was going to put in it. I have a couple pages that I'm going to faux laminate, and when I do that, then I'll be able to go ahead and sew the signature together, and then we will work on the cover. But for right now, I'm going to add our 2 journaling cards, and these will probably be next to the area where we have Peru. So we'll put those in there. And then these little, these tags can go pretty much anywhere, because they're just generic kind of botanical tags. So there is our fun little project from today, based on Shabbydabbydooda's version of using her wrapping paper for tags. I wanted to make just a quick announcement. I am going to be doing a giveaway, and I'm hoping to pick the names and go over all of the rules and everything so everyone knows tomorrow. Now, the only thing that would interrupt me doing this tomorrow is if I cannot find my adapter for my computer, because I need to be able to get on there and do, well, I guess I can still use my computer. The adapter's only for the printer. So I'm going to get on there and use a random generator. And just so you know, anyone that has subscribed to me up to 500 subscribers, I'm doing 2 drawings. No, 1 drawing for a large prize. And then I'm doing 2 small drawings for anyone that was from the last 16 people that helped me to get to 500, and then 1 last drawing for anyone over 500. So if you haven't had a chance to subscribe or haven't had a chance to check out my channel, please do that, and that way you can have your information entered into the drawing. I haven't determined exactly how I'm going to do that yet. As far as whether I'm going to use a random name generator, I have to do a little bit of investigating on how to actually do that. But we will be doing that tomorrow. So if you see this video, make sure you tune in so you can see our giveaway process. And I want to thank anyone who has so far followed me, stayed with me, patiently gone through my my videos and my messes and all the things that the mistakes that I make. I really appreciate you all, and I hope you've had fun with the Hispanic journal. I'm sorry I had to take a break there with family, but I knew that was going to happen. So we're back in business now. So I love you all as always. Please stay safe, and bye for now.